Hello everyone, this is Morgan here from Forex Varsity, and I'll be bringing you a video today on the W pattern. Something I realized when I was speaking to some of our students in the classroom yesterday was that they were very interested in what was actually forming up with some W patterns that we're having a look at, but the points to identify them were what they were missing out quite a lot. So today in this video what I wanted to do was just run through a few short points of what I like to see in a great W pattern. So for these W patterns, I'm going to focus on only bullish patterns and focusing on trying to find the double bottoms to trade on these W patterns on a buy. So as you see here, I have 3 patterns that I'm going to show you today, and then we're just going to run through a basic PowerPoint of points to identify your W patterns. So over here you can see that there are 3 W patterns that I'll be looking at today. In the first pattern we are looking at the Aussie dollar US dollar. As you can see here, there was a great double bottom showed, and what we'll do is have a look at this trade as an example in our PowerPoint presentation. So points of identification for the W pattern on a bullish trend is effectively what you see right here. So sometimes you'll see the W pattern may form on a longer time frame, a shorter time frame, but once again this pattern has to be from a new low formed that you would draw your trend line up to the new high down to the previous low, which would usually show a double bottom, and then straight back up to the same point or a new point of resistance that the trade will usually move towards. So once again it will be a W pattern forming and showing double bottom as our 2 points of identification. Then moving on to a more complicated sense of identification would be the MACD and the stochastic that we usually use. So as you can see, I've drawn horizontal lines that cross below both double bottom W pattern, and this was on the Aussie dollar US dollar. So as you can see here on the MACD, it's showing a higher low, whereas over here you can see it's a double bottom. So it's showing a small sense of divergence, which is a very important part to watch, where it's basically showing that there's energy moving towards a positive side of the MACD and not more down towards the negative. So it's showing that it is probably going to bounce and make its way back up into the positive of the MACD. Then over here you can see on the stochastic, it's showing that it's a higher low once again on the second bounce. So that's also a very important part to notice on the stochastic and the MACD together. You can actually use it as a second point of verification where both points on the MACD and the stochastic are showing higher lows. So it's also very important to notice that you need to see the correlations between the actual information you can see on the charts as well as your indicators. So once again, on 3 points here we have a double bottom, we have a higher low on the MACD which is showing divergence, and then the third point is our stochastic, and that is shown all in one candlestick of price information that it is confirming it is probably going to bounce. So once again, your execution point would be very important to try and enter in that area. Once again, just going into the second video that I'm going to be doing on the W pattern, I'll be talking about your execution points, your take profits, stop losses, and pretty much exactly what you would like to look through in terms of trying to make a profit off of a trade such as this. But for today, we're just going to be going through the basic patterns, and then I'm going to be showing you 3 examples now. So on the Aussie dollar US dollar, this is on an hourly chart where you can have a look that I've drawn a trend line from this point here down to the lowest low identified, back up to the next high after it has broken back down to that support, and then back down to the next lowest low. Because once you can see here, there is a low here, and there is a low previously here, but the lowest low is here, so I'm going to choose to draw my trend line there. And now what you can see is already, if you got down to this point and you had no more price information over here in the right hand area of the graph, you could already identify that it could be forming up a W pattern. So what you could do is draw your vertical line and check what the MACD and the stochastic is saying to you, and once again it would be saying that it is going to bounce. So that would be a perfect entry point on that bullish engulfing candle. Now as you can see, it's moved all the way back up to the previous resistance, so that is effectively completing the bullish W pattern. On the Euro Great British Pound, it's showing more of a slower W pattern, but once again also on the hourly chart. And as you can see, I've drawn from the points of breakdown all the way down to the lowest low of support, back up to the highest high after the breakdown, and then back down to that support, which is showing very close to where the previous support line was. So it is once again showing a double bottom, and then it made its way all the way back up and above the previous resistance, which is showing a very good bullish engulfing. Once again, if we draw our vertical trend lines here, you can see the price information on the MACD is showing divergence, and the stochastic is showing a higher low. So once again, it's showing both points where you could actually show all 4 points of identification. Then on the Euro Japanese Yen, it's showing even more of divergence, which is a great one that I wanted to show you just to end off on for this video. I'm just drawing the vertical lines. Just want to get this right on that candlestick there. Okay. So once again, this is more of a difficult point to identify. So what I did was, because there were 2 points of resistance here, I drew the trend lines between those 2 points of resistance. But once again, you can see a great breakdown to the downside, a new lower low, and a move straight back up to the top that broke that previous resistance. And once again, you can see the stochastic is showing a higher low, and the MACD is showing a higher low on that second point. So this is a great sign of divergence that you can see here. So this would have been a great trade to enter in on. And let's just have a look at some pips. You are averaging 162 pips on this trade. Let's have a look at the Euro Pound. 200 pips on the Euro Pound. These 3 trades are effectively 100 plus pip trades that you could identify on the hourly chart. GB Brokers is our recommended broker, and if you are interested in opening up a demo account or live account, you can just go down to the bottom of our page and you can open up retail live accounts, demo accounts, or a company live account. So once again, thank you to everyone for tuning into this video, and I'll make sure to see you in the next one.